go-to shoe, faith, hope, and love, a journey through loss. And of course, before we get started, like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification button so you know when Pauline's coming back. So, in reference to this though, in liking, I do want y'all to like it, but I need y'all to like it on YouTube. So if you could, please, especially if you like it, because a lot of people tell me they watch them and they see them and they say they like them, but then when I look at my statistics, I don't see the likes. So I need you to kind of do that. So again, like, touch the notification button, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Today, and before I even get there, how are y'all doing? Y'all doing okay? I hope everybody's doing good. And I know it's tough for a lot of people because it's hard on those of us who are praying and knowing that our friends and our loved ones are going through some serious times. And to be honest, it affects each one of us. Ooh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Between the loss of loved ones that people lose, people that they care so much about, and then the loss of their jobs, and then the loss of finance. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. I've been around a long time, and I've been through a lot. So, but in particular, the times now, it's tough. So it would behoove each one of us to just continue a strong prayer life, to pray every day for our families, ourselves, our acquaintances, people we don't even know. It's that time. It's that time to love. It's that time also to love those who despitefully use us. We've got to love them too. And some of the decisions and things that are going on today, Jesus came to give life and give life in abundance. That's what he came for. And if we're a Christian, we should exemplify Jesus, not Pauline. Don't be exemplifying me. Exemplify him who knows each one of our stories. Exemplify him that gave us breath, that allows us to wake up every morning. Yes, focus on him. Anyway, here I go. Excuse me. What I wanted to talk about today, and I mentioned it last week, that I wanted to talk about love, because I think that love is the crux of the challenges that we're going through right now. Because if each individual doesn't love themselves, how can they make decisions for their families, for their loved ones, for their friends? And there's people in high places that are making decisions on the behalf of everyone. And let's just bring it down to each one of us individually. Let's break it down to Pauline. Let's break it down to each one of you who are listening. I want to talk about that word love. And my go-to shoe, it's a journey through loss, but my go-to shoe is faith, hope, and love. Faith, hope, and love. And love is the greatest of these. And those are part of the fruit of the Spirit. But before I even go there, I want to just talk about the word love for a minute. Maybe it's probably more than a minute. We may just get through love. Anyway, when I think about the word love and what it means, the fact that Jesus went to the cross to die for each one of us because he loved us so much. But let's, again, break it down to each individual. What I have found, that if you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? So it starts here. It starts right here with me. It starts with you. I've got to love Pauline first. And I'm not talking about a narcissistic type of love for Pauline. I'm not talking about me, myself, and I. I'm talking about a love that I have for myself, that I take care of Pauline so that I can be here for my family, so that I can live an enriched life, healthy life. not that narcissistic love that it's all about me. That I don't care about anybody else. Everything that I do is always centered about me. And I thought it's interesting because the Greeks talked about that type of love, a self-love. But they were sure to say that not a narcissistic self-love, but a love that allows you to love yourself so that you can love others. And that's what the ancient Greeks, that was one of their loves. And when I saw that, I thought, ooh, that's what we have to have. And that love was called, let me, if I can pronounce it properly. In the U.S., we say Philautia for that type of love. The Greeks called it Philautia. And we have said it Philautia. But what it is, it's the foundation for love. The Greeks believed that a healthy practice of Philautia was necessary to build the capacity to love others well. The destructive, which I just spoke about a minute ago, is that narcissistic, self-centered form of self-love that leads to negative outcomes. Now, a healthy Philautia, that's a non-narcissistic, self-centered form of balanced love. I'm sorry, not self-centered. Let me strike that. I read it wrong. The healthy Philautia, this is a non-narcissistic, balanced love for oneself that is rooted in self-worth and authenticity. It almost brings tears to my eyes because the one thing about this podcast, I always want to be authentic. There's some things that I say in here that I don't necessarily feel good that I have to say it, even about myself, but it's so important to be authentic in who we are. Every day that we walk this life, we need to be authentic with our loved ones, with our co-workers, with just people that we meet on the street. So, what's that saying? To know thyself be true, to know thyself be true, something like that. To know thyself be true, something similar. I remember that saying, but here, as I read it from the Greek, what the Greeks thought, ancient Greeks thought, know thyself, that famous know thyself inscribed to the Temple of Apollo, connects to the idea of self-knowledge as a basis for self-love. Aristotle suggested that self-love stems from recognizing the goodness and value in one's own life and actions. It's easy to love your children and your spouse because that's who your relationships have come to be with, right? Your spouse, as you grow in your relationship, you get stronger and stronger. Even before you get married, you see that relationship just fostering and being nurtured as you grow in your love for each other. And then you want to bring into the world your children. And there's nothing better for a mother, I know, when you look at that child and you give birth to it and they lay that baby on your chest. And you look at that baby and you see that hands and the mouth and the eyes all formed. And you begin to love that baby and you hold that baby in your arms. Yeah. You begin to foster that kind of nurturing love for that child. So, Aristotle also positioned that self-love provides a model on how we should love our friends and others. Self-acceptance. Healthy self-love involves accepting who you are and being true to yourself rather than relying on external validation. Oh, okay, let's just stop right there. And the reason I don't want to get to the scripture yet, because Jesus teaches all of this. He teaches all of these things. But I always have loved, the ancient Greeks love him. And I love this. Self-acceptance. Let me read it one more time. Healthy self-love involves accepting who you are. You know why sometimes people just can't make it? Because they can't accept who they are. For some reason, they have not found that inner peace, that inner love, that inner who they are. And they end up always being destructive by what? Let's say what it is. Drugs, alcohol, obesity, shopping. Those are destructive habits. If we love ourselves, everything has to be done in balance. Has to be done in balance with everything that we do. It can't be, I can just get whatever I want whenever I feel like it. I can relate to that because the one thing that I have found, that I've learned, that I have kind of been a little bit self-indulgent with myself. I can only share with you what I know about Pauline. But my hope is that each one of you would do your own self-evaluation and see what it is and see what you're doing to nurture your own love for yourself and what you're doing to validate by putting things in and on to make it feel like it's love. Last week I talked about we love to be in our homes. We love to be comfortable. Well, everyone wants comfort. Everyone wants comfort. But in that comfort, we still have to love and think about others. My love, where I live doesn't define my love for myself. Where I live does not define my love for myself. What I wear does not define who I am. What I wear does not define who I am. What I drive does not define who I am. If people just look at us and just see us on the outside, if we were to strip completely down, would they see that, oh, she cares about herself. He loves himself. Not in a narcissistic way, but in a way that strengthens him and her to help others. We are here. Why do you think God created us? To be of a help to others. That's why he created us. So that we would be here to foster and nurture relationships of good, not of hate. But we've got to learn to first love ourselves and be authentic with ourselves. We just can't rely on that external validation. That external validation. The one thing I have found, I haven't shopped in, it's now, 8 months? 7 months? We've only got October, November, December. I've only got, well, that's 9 months actually. 9 months I haven't shopped. And when I say I haven't shopped, I bought no purses, no pocketbooks, no jewelry, no clothes, nothing for Pauline for my exterior. Because that happens to be where my Achilles heel is. So I have taken, and I have never done this before, but I've gone now 9 months without shopping. And what that has taught me is how unimportant that is to who I am. I'm still Pauline. And I have found that there's some other things that I can do to satisfy that void that sometimes we try to fill instead of purchasing, instead of eating, instead of doing. And the funny part about it is I had to laugh one day. I was telling a friend of mine, I said, I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing. I can't eat. I can't shop. I can't do anything that, I feel feels good to me. I can't do none of it. And I was like, gee whiz. Because sometimes I want that big piece of cake. I want to go and get something that tastes really good, that's really buttery and all of the things, right? And I love, 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 love good homemade sweets. And you know my daughter's a cook, so she'll fix something and I have to say, well, if she does bring me a piece of cake, she knows I love her cakes and her frosting. She knows I love that stuff. So if she does bring me a piece of cake, I take that piece of cake and I put it in the freezer. Before I put it in the freezer, I break it down into 3 pieces. so that, and it's that big. So by the time I get it, I've got a small piece, but I can bring it out. So everything has to be done in moderation. I say that to say this. Everything has to be done in moderation. It's not that I can't ever shop again, even though it does feel like that, but it feels like that to me, like I can't shop again. And the reason I say that for a reason, because I've always been a person, I can't just buy one thing. I don't just buy one thing. Sometimes I could buy 2 pairs of shoes that could be different colors, but they're the same. If I see something that I really like, it's a shirt that could be a white shirt, I might buy 2 or 3. So that is my Achilles heel. So I have to learn to do that in moderation. And what I have found is that I do have enough stuff that I don't really need anything. Even though I have to tell you this. Okay, so this was really kind of funny. A little sidebar, real quick. I had these wide leg jeans that I bought when they first came out. They were Ralph Lauren wide leg jeans. They were great. I mean, those jeans, I wore them, I guess, they still might have been 5 years old. Might be 5 years old. Well, a few weeks ago, I washed them every time, so they were getting worn. And I saw a little tiny kind of rip in the pocket, but I could put a shirt over. You couldn't see it. Well, one day on my way to work, I put those jeans on, and I thought I'm looking pretty good. And I sat in the car, and I heard something shred, and I'm thinking, what is that? But I didn't pay any attention. I tell you the truth. When I got to work, my whole butt was out. Luckily, I had a jean jacket, so I could tie it up, put my jean jacket on. So I say all to say this. That made me want to buy a new pair of jeans. I said, I got to buy some new jeans. Now remember, I had 2 pair of the same jeans. So I said, I still got another pair. Don't worry about it. So I had to come home, change my clothes. Well, I didn't come home that day, but when I got home that night, I changed my clothes, threw those in the trash, and I decided I would take the other pair out. And I wore the others the following week. The same thing happened. The same thing. They ripped, shredded. Oh, it was a mess. So I actually sent my daughter a picture of it because it was I said, you can't believe what just happened to me. Again, the same jeans. Anyway, so I ended up throwing those out. So now I'm thinking, I need a pair of new jeans. No, I did not do that. I had other jeans that were in my closet. But remember, that's 2 pair of my favorites. But they're gone. But I have not replaced them because I do have some other ones that I can wear. I don't like them as much, but they'll do. I just thought I'd say that because even though I felt I had a need to buy something, I held off. And I'm just going to hold off until I don't know how long. Well, till next year sometime. And I think that when I buy now, I just won't, I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me just put that on pause, but I'm going to do my best to try not to purchase things like that. Purchase things in excess of 2 and 3 at a time. Anyway, the other thing, so it's been very good for me emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually by not shopping. It has affected me emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. Every aspect of my life by not shopping. So if you find something, and it's the same thing with eating, I've cut back on what I eat. I love to eat, but I've cut back on what's not good for me. And when it's 7 o'clock, I eat my dinner by 7. I have nothing after that. I have either water. And so now I've embarked on something even newer. I'm trying to do 2 liters of water a day. That is a tough ask. And you all need to drink your water because water is so good for you. Okay, let me get going because I'm taking too much time. Anyway, get your 2 liters of water in as best you can. At least get 1 liter in, but drink a lot of water because from my understanding, it takes down the blood pressure. So that's my new thing, trying to get my blood pressure down. I'm really trying to be a healthy person so I can be here for my family and for you all. I want my family, especially my great-granddaughter, my little Toby. I got to be here for her because I'm looking to have some special times with her. Okay, so anyway, on that note, we didn't get very far in love, but I wanted to talk about that Philautia, and like I said, they say it Philautia in the Greek, Philautia. That's self-love, that's good, that can be good if it can be destructive, but we want to be good. And I wanted to give you one thing that you can do to show your own self-love for you. to know thyself be true, is to spend time with yourself. I've been doing this for a couple years now. I go to the park, and you've seen my videos when I'm at the park. I go to the park and I just sit. And I watch the water, I watch the people. I have thoughts, good thoughts come in my mind, good thoughts. I ask God, what is it that I can do to be of help to myself and to others? So, I know this is kind of short. It's not that short because I'm seeing it. It's not that short. But I do want you to start doing that. Spend time with yourself. If there's one thing that you do this week, take time for you to find out who you are, to know who you are. To thine own self be true. To thine own self be true. I love y'all so much. Thank you for listening. And I had a couple new listeners. So Anna, thank you for making a comment. I appreciate it. Daphne, I always appreciate you making a comment. Rebecca, I think she made a comment. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. And another person put Arzella, she subscribed. So I appreciate each one of you. You have no idea how much I appreciate each one of you. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I love y'all. I love y'all. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. And of course, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and share. Touch the notification button so you know when Pauline's coming back. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.